Hi, I'm Natalie, and today I'm going to show you this quick pillowcase project. Before you click away, just think what these can be used for. They can be custom gifts. They can be craft show offerings. They could be for the holidays. They could be home decor, home warming presents. There's all kinds of reasons to give a hand custom made pillowcase. Let's dive in. So, I'm going to use the Best Day Ever kit. This fabric is so joyful. Ramel, be prepared, because I think I'm going to make you a pillowcase with this. So let's go overhead. You know what? I should kick off my shoes too, because I'm really tall at the moment. Let's go overhead, and I'm going to show you this print. This one is from Melody Miller. You can just tell, right? Look at this joy, people. This is just pure joy. And it's a collage of a lot of her different fabric lines. And then our band will be this floral print from the same collection. And our little, it's not piping, but it's like a thin strip, an accent, will be with this blue speckled. So we have packaged these so they're ready to go. Basically, we're just going to cut off the selvage. You can save your selvage if you want to do projects with selvages later. That's really popular right now. I fold mine together so I can just cut them both off at the same time. Now, I do like using an acrylic ruler to do this. It makes it quick. And there we are. Now, measurements can always, there's a degree of play in measurements. There are lots of free patterns online. However, in the kit, I did attach the digital download for the one that I'm using because it's free on All People Quilt, I think is the website, and it's been around forever. It was part of the 1 million pillowcase challenge at one time. So we're going to take our hero print and open it with the right sides facing up. Let's go overhead. Then we're going to take our accent strip. I probably should have ironed this. Let me turn on my iron. I don't do a lot of pinning in this project because we kind of wrap everything up like a sausage. So 1 second. And I am using all quilting cotton. I'm just going to iron out some of these creases here really quickly. We're going to fold it in half, right sides together. This is on high heat. And you can use starch if you want to. Sometimes that's easier. I'm actually going to cut that little piece off anyways, because that's getting down to the selvage. Sometimes it is just easier to work with fabric once you've starched and pressed it. Actually, it's always easier. I just don't always take the time to do it, and I should. All right, so let's fold this. Sorry, we're gonna do wrong sides together. I believe I misworded that earlier. Wrong sides together to make a cute little strip here. And this can be smaller if you want it to be smaller. I've done it in the past with just a 2-inch strip so that only 1 inch is on this portion, but you do whatever you like. So my raw edges are meeting down here. Okay. I'm going to move this for a sec. And here we are. So top raw edge of the pillowcase, raw edge of the accent band, and I'm just going to match those up. Okay, so here you can absolutely pin. I'm just going to put in a couple because I'm going to base stitch this down. I know that most people probably don't do that, but sometimes when working with lengths and strips like this, it's just better if I take a little bit of precaution rather than have to re-sew later because I missed something. That would make me so mad. So here we go. Let's go to the machine. So I just needed to put on my regular foot because I don't want to use up that Teflon coating on my Teflon foot. So I quick changed it and I'll continue basting. Try not to pull or stretch your fabric. It's very easy to do when it's long like this. All right, now before I walk away, I'm gonna turn my stitch length back down to 3. How many times have you walked away from a base stitch and then started sewing it? I've done that a million times. Okay, so now our little accent band is on. Now we need to do the wider band. This is the 9-inch band. So the reason we do 3, 9, and 27 is because Dodie said it's easier for her to remember. 3 times 9 is 27, and those are our measurements. But you can play around with that if you wanted your pillowcase wider, smaller, your accent smaller, bigger, whatever you want. It's totally fine. All right, let's go overhead, and we're gonna lay our band right side up flat on the table. So it's full width. I don't know if you can zoom out at all, Ramel. Yeah, maybe that works. Okay, so now we're gonna take the piece we just sewed and flip it over so that it's right sides together, top edges meeting. Okay, now this one I will absolutely pin just a couple of times because we're gonna roll it. So I'm gonna do this, just 3 pins. And then I'm rolling the body up. See how we can see the band here now? So I'm gonna roll it one more time. Sometimes I'll throw pins over here in the sausage part so that it lays down for me. Okay, now see this raw edge of the band? We're coming up here. And this is what we're gonna sew, all of these edges at one time. And sometimes you just have to keep finagling it until it lines up. Put as many pins as you need. Make sure the fabric is not twisted or stretched and everything is flat and you're just pinning those raw edges together. I'll come down here and pin this. And I'm gonna take a little bit bigger seam allowance now. Instead of just using my foot, I'm gonna go about 1/2 inch, and that will ensure I'm catching all layers and all basting stitches so that nothing shows. If you want to, you could always come in here and draw your sew line. Okay, let's take it to the machine. Make sure that my edges are good here. Now I'm on the fabric now, so I'll do a little back stitch there. I'm not pulling. I'm just letting the feed dogs do the work. I'm going to take these pins out as I go because I might forget about them. You can also use your stiletto if it helps. All right. I'm just going to trim up my seam allowance a tiny smidge. Sometimes when working with dark and light fabrics, you just want to cut away any excess dark fabric, and that's what I'm doing right here with the blue. You can go overhead. Yeah, just so you can see it's not much, but see how I trim that away? All right, now this can be a little tricky. I'm going to trim away the selvage over here. And the reason I can just freewheel and do that is because a pillowcase is it's just a pillowcase. It's okay. We're not having to have specific measurements on this. We can just wing it in a sense. There's one pin that I've got out. Oh, there's the other pins. I feel them. Before we turn this baby right sides out, you want to grab these pins if you used them. If you didn't, then you don't have to worry, but I've got 2 more pins here that I better get out before I hurt myself here. Ouch, like I just did. Oops. All right, so I'm just kind of pushing this up a bit. I'm going to grab my ironing mat. Here we are. The thing about this part is you want to smooth it up so that when you're pressing, you're not pressing it wonky. So I just smooth it with my hands. We're going to chop this off a bit. Don't worry. Gonna be great. Now here's my question for everyone is, do you want me to serge it or do you want me to sew and use pinking shears? What should we do, Rob? Pinking shears. Okay. When I'm making these for craft shows, I would probably just serge it because it's enclosing the seam and trimming it all at one time. It's just faster. And you don't have to know anything special to serge some seams. It can just be the generic setting on your serger if you're using quilting cotton, and you'll be fine. So now I have folded my pillowcase to be right sides together. And right here, we want to make sure that these bands are lined up. Yeah, you might want to zoom in. Good point. So you want these to match as well, as good as well as possible. Match as accurately as possible. Talking is hard. Okay, and then I'm gonna continue down this way. We'll sew and then we'll pink shear. And the pinking shears will help your fabric not fray as much. However, if you have a zigzag stitch on your machine, I recommend you pink and do a zigzag stitch. My machine right now here on the table does not have a zigzag. So I am just going to straight sew. I'm going to start up here and make sure that these, it already shifted. I've got to pin this a lot so that it doesn't shift on me. getting all those seams. All right, here we go. Let's go to the machine. Back stitch. Back stitch a couple of times there, because that is the point that will get the most stress. Let's go back overhead. Take out my pins. Now this is what I mean. Right here, if you have a zigzag stitch on your machine, you can straight stitch first if you want, and then come in and do your zigzag. And that will prevent fraying even more. I think I'm going to use my Kai pinking shears. These are pinking shears. They're the zigzaggy ones. And we're just going to do this. If you want to sew twice for your seams for extra strength, like if these are for kids and you know they're going to be pulled and in pillow fights and whatnot, then go ahead and do it twice. It's never wrong. Now I'm going to come up here and we're done. I mean, that's as fast as this is. As soon as I'm done with this part, we are finished. So if you were selling these in craft shows, just make sure you're getting your money back for your materials and then add a little cushion for your labor and time, or do whatever you like. But now you can see what I mean by it's so fast. And it's a functional item too. It's not something that's just going to sit on a shelf. This is going to get used. I usually grab it by the bottom corners as well. Now, you definitely want to press it before you display. And what I would do is I'd stuff it with a pillow and hang it up or have it somewhere in your booth so people really understand what it is. There's a lot of power in having a sample and a visual, because nobody reads anymore, am I right? We read books for fun, but we don't read instructions, we don't read clauses, we don't read anything, basically. Everyone's in too much of a hurry. So there it is. Isn't this cute?
It is.
Yeah? Do you want one?
I'll have that one.
You'll have this one? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make another one just like it so we can be twins.
Aww.
Okay. All right, so there it is. And just think what a cute little pair of these with ribbon and a cute little tag would be like in your booth. I hope that was fun for you. If nothing else, I hope at least you're inspired and just get on your machine and get sewing. That's all it takes. Just a little step day by day. All right, I will see you soon. Peace, love, sewing.